traders, good morning. It's currently 9:24 a.m. It's the 10th of October. Today is Friday. So today we are going to look at different opportunities. I'm going to go over these pairs quickly. We have gold, GBPUSD, USD, JPY, and cryptocurrencies on the bottom section of my watch list. We're just going to see what opportunities are available to us today using ICC. So this is very good for those who are using ICC. Or if you are not consistent yet, you're struggling in trading, ICC will kind of help you out a lot. Do not take my word for it. You just have to see for yourself how easy it is to find setups. But before that, let's have scripture of the day. Scripture of today comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, and it says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." This verse speaks about the power of patience and faith. Waiting on the Lord isn't passive, it's an active trust that God is working, even when you do not see results yet. In in waiting, your strength is renewed, your vision clears, and your spirit grows stronger. Here's how it can relate to life. In seasons where progress feels slow or uncertain, remember that waiting doesn't mean wasting. Growth often happens quietly beneath the surface. God uses waiting periods to prepare you for what is next. This is how it can relate into trading. The verse mirrors the importance of patience and timing in trading. The best don't chase every move. They wait for the perfect wind to sow. When you wait for your setups and follow your plan, you trade from strength, not exhaustion. Now, what can we see on gold? We can see that the market has been buying for some time. And by the way, do not only use one time frame. That is why I have multiple time frames. You need to see the bigger picture across different time frames. So if you look at the daily, we can see that the market has been bullish for a very long time. When it got here, it topped out. If you go to the 4 hour, it kind of starts making sense. We had a high, a higher low, a higher high. So this was kind of the indication above this high. So this might be the correction. We might expect a deeper correction and then later on to continue up. If you are just looking at the 1 hour, you could say, okay, maybe it's time to sell, but no, that might not be the case. Okay, so sometimes you need to use these other time frames. So that is why I have these other time frames too. I usually love using the 30 minutes, but it comes in clutch when the market is kind of just trending. These are the trades that I took. And by the way, the strategy that I am using is called ICC. It's by a trader who is known as Trades by Sai. If you just go to YouTube and search Trades by Sai, you will find him. I also kind of leave a screenshot somewhere here so that you can see him. But you can also go through the playlists in his channel. He has a playlist where he teaches everything about ICC. I won't do that here. I will just show you how I use it, how I look for setups, how I've used it to pass challenges like this, the God Funded Trader. This was the second phase. I've already passed it. It's under review. So after that, they will give me my login information or login details for the funded stage. I think maybe next week. So that is why this week I haven't traded since yesterday, because I passed, I think, on Wednesday. Okay. Anyway, so we can see that from here the market created a high. Sellers stepped in at this point. Buyers were holding this level. Whenever I'm looking at price, these turning points just show me where buyers and sellers are at. I do not use fair value gaps. I do not use all of these fancy concepts, okay? Because in the end of the day, the market is just full of buyers and sellers. I can see that sellers stepped in here, buyers stepped in here holding this level so that sellers cannot continue pushing through. And then when buyers brought price all the way up here, since sellers were at this level, they didn't allow buyers to break through. So sellers stepped in again, and now the buyers who are sitting here were overpowered. Okay, so now we can all agree that at this level, there are no longer buyers, but sellers are sitting below this level. So if price is creating lower highs, and we know that there are now sellers below this level, that kind of just tells us that the market is likely going to continue selling, but only if it breaks below this point. Right now, it's in a no trade zone, so I am not really expecting much, but I know if this lower high is respected and then the market creates maybe some kind of lower high here, creates something like this, and then it continues down, then that will be an entry for me. But I will have to wait for this to happen during the New York session, because this is already the indication that this might be part of the correction, and then the continuation, a good entry will be below this point, and then my targets will just be below this these higher lows before. Okay, now trading can be this easy if you make it. Okay, just go and learn ICC from the guy, and trust me, you will thank me later. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting on gold. But also, I know overall we are bullish. If it's a sell, it's just going to be for a very short time. That's why I'm only going to target some of these levels here. But I know price can still break above this area, and then that means this area here, which is a support level, has buyers. That's why I have this arrow pointing up. So these arrows pointing down represent sellers who are now sitting here and here, but this arrow up points buyers. So if price doesn't go down and it starts creating higher high and higher low, and maybe it comes during the New York session and momentum starts stepping in, and then the market starts pushing up, best believe I'm going to take my buy. But right now we are in a no trade zone. The market is not creating any lower lows, and it's also kind of stuck in this lower high. So I just have to wait. I won't trade this one. Normally I love trading gold and GU during the New York session. Let's go and check GU. That's pretty much it on on gold. So here on GU, there was a video that I did yesterday. I explained about this opportunity. I did not take this opportunity, but I just said if you had entered here, this was at what time was this? Yeah, I think around this area. It was at 8:30 my time in Tanzania during the morning, and you could have caught all this movie. I was I was saying that you could have caught a 1 to 4, but it went for a 1 to 6, which was insane. And the power of ICC, because you are trading with the trend, normally you can catch a trend and then keep on holding. Let's say maybe you entered somewhere up here. Okay, let's say maybe you entered somewhere up here. This was again at 8 on Tuesday. If you had entered there, you could have been holding all this move. Your stop loss above the lower high, that's where your stop loss should always be, and you could have caught all this move for a 1 to 6. Yeah, I think this day this was it. But again, here on this day, on Thursday, could have entered here, the market kept on pushing. I usually love using the 30 minutes. To me, it's kind of a time frame which is not that slow, not that fast. So yeah, I kind of just love it. But yeah, this was the trade that you could have caught. Very, very nice. But anyway, today I can see that we have these levels here. Have this level. The market created a low, a lower high, indication, correction, continuation. So this was during 9:30. No, this was at 4 p.m. and it was yesterday on Thursday. Okay, you could have caught this sell off. I think there was some kind of news also. So you could have entered there, your stop loss above the level. Okay, all you are doing, and even when you go and watch the playlist by side, you will know that after the indication, you do not trade the indication. It's usually an attempt to create liquidity. A lot of breakout traders enter these moves, they expect that the market will just continue falling, but no, the correction happens. So you wait for the indication and then the correction. After the correction, you take the continuation, which is the real move. You trade with the trend, and then after that you just target a minimum of a 1 to 4. Okay, this market is still pushing, so that is why this strategy is very good for swing trading. Okay, yeah. So if you, like the example that I showed here, if you entered here maybe on the 7th, you could have closed your trade on the 9th. Okay, so that was like 2 days, and it could have given you a 1 to 6 depending on where your stop loss was at. Even this day here, there are a lot of opportunities. When the market keeps on breaking lows, only expect sells. Okay, so since the market has already created a new indication below this point also, I will also mark this one because this is also another great level that was broken, the most recent. But also, we are looking into this one. It doesn't mean that if price breaks here, then we are not bearish. Even if it comes here and gives us a reaction, these are reaction levels. We know that sellers are sitting below these points. So as long as we are below these levels, we are looking for sales. Okay, so that's all you should know. If price breaks a level, expect sales. As long as the market corrects, it doesn't break the previous structure, and then it creates a new structure, in this case a lower high, and then it starts pushing below the level, that's when you're looking for sales. Here as well, we have a low. This is the correction. You do not trade the correction. You wait for the pullback to happen. And then when momentum starts stepping in, during what time? New York session. Okay? Or maybe during London session. That's when you start looking for your opportunities to sell. So for this one, I'll just wait during the New York session most likely. But since I'm not trading, I haven't received my account yet, I'll just sit on my hands and kind of just use this as a learning experience to see how these things will play out. Let's go to USD JPY. Now USD JPY is just in a consolidation. So for this, I usually not really bother. I'll just maybe put an alert below this point and above this point to kind of see where the price will break. Will it break below this point and give me an indication? I'll wait for the correction. This correction doesn't have to start breaking these highs. And then when the continuation starts, that's when I will look for my opportunity. And then I'll be looking to target some of these lows and even this gap here. Okay, but if the market will start dropping, that means these pairs here will start buying to the upside. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. That will be interesting to see, but for now it's unclear what USD JPY is doing or what it wants to do. Here also it's kind of choppy, but yeah, let me clean the charts and see. So the market created this high to this low, have this lower high, and then a new low. So this was the indication. So here is where I will also have like two levels. I'll have one here. If we are below this level, I'll look for my sales, but also I will have another one here. As long as we are below this level, it's time for sales because this low created this high. And this high attempted to create a higher low, but it failed to produce a new higher high. So we had a lower high and then a new lower low. So now I will only mark three levels that to me are very important. I do not, and you shouldn't have a lot of levels on your charts. You should just kind of have levels that kind of direct you where the market is going. Some other thing that you can see is that the market is creating lower highs. When you see this should already tell you that, okay, you should only be anticipating or waiting for sales. So below this point, we are waiting for sales. Below this point, I'm waiting for sales. Because why? Even the market structure is showing me that there is lower highs for me. You already have an indication. An indication shows you that you should only be looking for sales if it's below a level. You already have an indication below this level. And also a level can be used multiple times. Maybe even this day you could have sold here. Even if price could have taken you out, you could have sold this day again and it played out. Okay? But it's not kind of clean. Sometimes the market won't be clean, but usually when the market starts trending again, there will be a very great opportunity. So in these scenarios, I can enter maybe even within these areas here, but only if I see a clean move. Okay, these can even be lower highs. Let me remove that. These can be lower highs of some sort, like here. Okay, if this level doesn't get broken, we might have some kind of lower high and then the market starts pushing up, pushing down. Maybe I might even wait for this during London session. I've seen a lot of a lot of cryptocurrencies do move a lot during the London session around 11:30 a.m. Currently it's 9:38 a.m. So I'll just have to wait and see, but I'm anticipating sales on this. Now that with all of these levels, everything looks very, very clear and it makes a lot of sense. So I'm anticipating sales. Your targets needs to be levels of support because if you're selling, you need buyers to exchange orders with them. If you want to sell an iPhone 17, you wouldn't look for someone who already has it. You look for someone who is looking to buy it. So you need to look for buyers. Okay. Now let's go to BNB. BNB, okay, now this is good. Just like the same thing that was happening to USD JPY, this consolidation. BNB had a consolidation, but it already broke. Okay, so we have this indication correction. So now we are just waiting for the market to step back below this level. Okay, we are waiting for some kind of momentum below this point, and then we'll be looking for sales. Now we know that the market is not breaking above these highs, it's creating lower highs, which is good, something we want to see. So we want to see another lower high form. The market failed to continue pushing up, and then when it starts pushing down, creating some kind of lower highs, just like this, That's when we look for our opportunities below, and these are the levels that will target, even these ones here. Okay, very, very simple. And most times when cryptos start selling, even these other ones will sell. If Bitcoin is selling, most times BNB will follow, Ethereum will follow as well. Okay, as you can see, just because I've already known what Bitcoin happens, because Bitcoin is like the mother cryptocurrency, it's the biggest cryptocurrency in the cryptocurrency world. Whatever happens to it, it will kind of reflect what these other small cryptocurrencies will also do. Okay, so because I know that I can expect sales on Bitcoin, it kind of already prints the picture for these other currencies. Let's go to Ethereum. Okay, as you can see, the work is very easy. I just have to kind of look for levels that can relate to what I'm anticipating. So we have this low here. This was the most recent level, was broken, lower high, and then this another low. I want to mark this one because this looks like just one leg, and then all this is just a correction. So even if the market creates some kind of lower high, or it starts pushing here, I'm just waiting for momentum. I know that majority of the momentum on cryptocurrencies usually steps in at 11 a.m. So let me show you an example. Also during Asia at 3 a.m. the market usually takes off. So let's see somewhere here around 11 there was this opportunity. If you go to the left, there was this consolidation above this level, the market was buying. Okay, above this level the market was buying. This was our indication correction here, 9-11. Okay, so at this candle here, let me show you. And this doesn't just happen once, it usually repeats itself. So as you can see at 11:30 you are in. You only need to buy when price is above the level. It breaks the first time. The second time when it's above that level, you look for your opportunity. Your stop loss needs to be below these lows. Okay. If there are maybe three levels, I usually put my stop loss beneath the second level. Okay. And then I target maybe a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 minimum. And then that could have been the trade. But hey, yeah. So since we are already going down, I'm anticipating sales. I just need to see that this correction is over. Right now we are kind of choppy, so I'll just have to wait for momentum to step in. Here again, I will put another level here to kind of, I'll put an arrow to kind of just know what I'm expecting. Okay, so the only time that I can start looking for buys is if price breaks above this high. It should be that simple. Okay, so I've already shared with you what I think on Ethereum. On cryptos, I'm expecting sales. USD JPY is still kind of iffy because we still have like long weeks because also of the US government shutdown. So it's not really that clear, but overall we are bullish on the dollar. GBPUSD expecting more of sales. Okay, gold kind of a 50-50 because we are in all-time highs. It was expected that gold will make it to 4,000 by year's end, but I think it has made that quite sooner than we expected. Okay, quite early. Sorry, it has made that quite early than we expected at October. Okay, so it's not even the end of the year yet. So I am just glad to wait and see what we might expect on gold. So I have two levels. If price breaks this level here, and even this year maybe gives me an indication correction, and then I start seeing higher lows forming, then that will kind of give me a clear sign to start looking for buys. But also another trick that I usually love using is these moving averages. Okay, so right now moving averages are in between price. When I see this is a no trade zone for me. It just shows me that there is a very high likelihood of the market starting to consolidate, just like here. Okay, you want to see these moving averages wide apart and also price either above the moving average. This one has the 20 period, this one is the 200. So all this time I was buying because the 200 was below price. It was showing me that the market is overall bullish. Even here I was just looking for buys, looking for buys. And when you have them below price, let me maybe go and look for a market which was bearish. Let's go maybe to Bitcoin. Here the market is kind of choppy, that's why it's also not that clear. Let's see BNB. What do we have? I want to look for a market that, yeah, as you can see, these were opportunities that you could have caught, and you could have been riding the trend. Yeah, these were the opportunities that you could be selling. Also, another use of this moving average is, let's say I'm already in a trade somewhere up here. If the market comes really close and bounces off of the moving average, that gives me another opportunity to enter. So I can enter somewhere here, my stop loss above the lower high, and then you keep on holding. Once price starts ranging uh, inside this moving average, that's when you get out. Okay, so trading has to be easy. You shouldn't overcomplicate it. I know a lot of people say that moving averages do not help, but if they give you some kind of edge, some kind of clarity, like here, I know even the moving averages are telling me that okay, the market is going down. The 200 especially is the one that I usually pay attention the most. Okay, we are now having lower lows and lower highs. The market is kind of playing around this moving average. So right now there is nothing really clean. Even without the moving average, I saw the market was consolidating. So right now there are no setups. So I'll just have to wait for momentum. Okay, here on BNB, we can see that maybe the market can continue pushing up, but we'll just have to wait and see. As long as these lower highs, or as long as these highs are still intact, we are still good for sales. We'll just have to wait for momentum. Bitcoin kind of choppy, but yeah, if it starts pushing, if there is momentum, we'll see which direction the market will choose to go. Okay, if they confuse you, you can just remove them. Usually I just put them on when I'm about to enter, to kind of just be like an added confirmation. And yeah, this one is kind of choppy. I think moving average is all, yeah, the 20 is all the way in between price, so that is not really good. GBPUSD, yeah, you want to see something like this where price is just below and it's pushing, and then the moving average 200 EMA is above price, showing you that the market is trending down. Okay, so the London session is almost starting, but I won't take it here. The market is way down here, and this pullback looks a bit fake to me. Maybe I will just wait for the New York session to be safe. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you found value in this video, drop a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section below. The prop firm that I am using is GFT. I also have much more on my link. You can just go and find the link in the description. I hope to see you guys next time. If I take trades, I will share them on my YouTube stories and TikTok stories, so make sure you check those out.